Tucked snugly between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, Beltane is an important Sabbath marking the union between the god and the goddess, or male and female aspects. Also known as May Day, this celebration welcomes in the summer season. The Sabbath is known for fire, fertility, and union. It is also a sacred time where, much like Samhain, the veil between realms thins. The thinning of the veil prompted our ancestors to add special ceremonies for protection. The Sabbath is celebrated in various ways, many of which pay homage to the union of the god and the goddess, which is often written and spoken about in the pagan belief system. The masculine and feminine aspects of nature are venerated as equal and opposite forces for some practitioners. This is known as ontological dualism and is seen in other belief systems such as Taoism and Hinduism. Such a belief honors the polarity between two forces. As previously mentioned, for modern pagans, Beltane is a celebration of the union of the god and goddess, where Imbolc fire celebrated the maiden virgin. During Beltane, the maiden aspect of the triple goddess becomes an adult. Many rituals are woven into the Sabbath. This morning, we will look at said rituals, both the historical practices of our ancestors, as well as touching on modern paganism, including, though not limited to, hand fasting ceremonies and dancing about the maypole. Let's begin our journey with ancient pagans. Although Irish literature's references to Beltane go as far back as the 9th century, it is author James Fraser's 1890 publication of The Golden Bow, A Study in Magic and Religion, that comes to mind. As Fraser's work wrote of Beltane's importance to herdsmen, a fact that is exceedingly clear when one looks at long past pagan practices. Much of the rites associated with the Sabbath tie into mythology. As it is in early pastoral festivals, rituals centered around herds, more specifically about protecting herds and promoting their fertility. Customs varied, sometimes depending upon the region, though decorating a bonfire seems to be consistent no matter the ancient civilization. Homes were garnished with nature herself, strewing flowers, rowan, and hawthorn about. Such festivities began on May 1st. In ancient societies, the day would begin with a journey into the forest, for amongst other things, the gathering of the 9 sacred woods necessary to build the Beltane fires. In the evening, all hearth fires were extinguished. Then 2 fires were lit in a chosen place in which all gathered. Both people and cattle were ushered between the 2 sacred fires. This was done with the belief that Beltane's bonfires had magical properties. Such magical properties were considered held within the flame, ashes, and even the smoke itself. People even attempted to leap over the Beltane sacred fires. Jack be nimble indeed. Such uses of fire were made with the belief that fertility, happiness, protection, and good fortune would come to celebrants. In fact, ancient Celts used specific incantations when setting the fires ablaze. And as was previously mentioned, 9 different woods were used to create the sacred fire. It is also important to note that need fire was used to create the sacred fire. In modernity, some practitioners still use this type of fire. Need fire or wildfire is a holy or sacred fire made using friction. Author Ronald Hutton details the importance of such fire, noting that to increase the potency of the holy flames, in Britain at least, they were often kindled by the most primitive of all means, of friction between wood. Hearths throughout the village were relit from the sacred fire. Some even used the flames to safeguard their homes, surrounding their dwellings with torches to ensure protection. As mentioned in the beginning of this sermon, some rites included references to the thinning boundary between our world and the supernatural realm. Feasts were held in honor, offering food and drink for fairies. Some believe that this is the night that the queen of the fairies would ride out upon her white steed to lure humans to the land or realm of the Fae. Lore tells of the veil between the realm in which we reside and an extra mundane realm that we cannot see. On Beltane, as well as Samhain, the veil between these realms thin, allowing a time in which communication with the spirit world can be obtained. Treats were left out for Fae with the hopes that they could be appeased, and citizens took steps to protect their cattle. Modern celebrations differ from those of our ancestors. In Scotland, for example, celebrants begin with the Beltane Fire Festival, citing the event as a living, dynamic reinterpretation of modernization of an ancient Iron Age Celtic ritual, bringing many people together to acknowledge and revel in the birth of the summer and the fertility of the land. The observance includes dancing, bonfires, and occasional nudity throughout the evening. The night is centered around two figures, the May Queen and the Green Man. The May Queen is the portrayal of the Virgin Goddess, or the maiden aspect of the triple goddess. The human representation who is that very night transforming from the maiden to the mother. Her consort, the portrayal of the god, is called by different names depending upon the location of the Beltane celebration, including, though not limited to, Maygroom and Green Man. The union of the May Queen and King is a representation of the masculine and feminine energies coming together. The Sabbat is also celebrated in the United Kingdom, with the largest Beltane celebration held in Edinburgh. Bonfires are set ablaze and festivities go until dawn. Dances around a maypole are standard and thoroughly enjoyed. Additional parts of the world celebrate Beltane in unique ways. One such example is a festival in Finland called Vappu. Vappu is a combination of the ancient festival of Beltane and the Christian celebration called Walpurgis Night. Walpurgis Night celebrates the canonization of the Christian saint Walpurga. Celebrants consume an alcoholic beverage called sima, which is a Finnish spring mead. Traditional folk songs are enjoyed, as well as dancing and the lighting of bonfires. It is interesting to note that the Christianization of the celebration did not occur until 870 CE. The synchronization seems to have transpired based in part on fear. In fact, Saint Walpurga was a missionary who was known in part for healing the effects of spells cast by witches. Saint Walpurga's intercession was believed to protect against evil magic. Some believe that the Sabbath was a night when a witch's evil powers were at their strongest. I cannot help but note that when one is in the position as a powerful member of the church and miraculous healing occurs, it is considered holy, whereas one who is pagan and performed healing may have been perceived as evil. An unfortunate theme found throughout history and still surviving in some parts of the globe in modernity. But I digress. Let's get back to the celebrations that often occur at Beltane. With sacred bonfires lit ablaze, I can almost smell the smoke and hear the music all about. I wonder how many of my pagan ancestors experienced the same thing, and if the sort of transcendence could occur when casting your eyes up the maypole with music in the air. Maypoles are seen in multiple parts of the world with slightly different forms and celebrations in which they are utilized. Some say that the decor on the maypoles was of the same as the nature fastened to the windows of prospective lovers. Others say that our ancestors arose on Beltane and gathered branches and flowers to decorate both the village and the maypole. likely around the same time that the sacred woods were collected on the Sabbath morning. The symbolism behind the maypole seems to alter depending upon the expert spoken to. Historian Ronald Hutton and scholar Carl Wilhelm von Sydow wrote that maypoles were raised in honor of the warmth that returns in the season. Other experts believe that the maypole is the axis mundi, much like the tree of the world with roots reaching deep into our Mother Earth. There are two facts that experts seem to agree on concerning the maypole. One is that the origin of the dance seems to lay in Germanic history. The other consistent reason that arises is a connection to fertility rites. Although these commonalities exist, there are variations of the dance depending upon the location of the celebration. There are two different types of maypole dances, one of which consists of dancers, generally female, performing a routine around a decorated pole. The second type of maypole dance consists of each participant holding onto a ribbon, allowing dancers to weave their way around the pole using the ribbons to decorate in either a woven or braided shape. Dancers then retrace their steps, unraveling the ribbons. No matter where the Sabbath celebration is, flowers are a consistent and common theme. Those taking part in the ancient ceremony weave flowers into their hair or wear a wreath made of or decorated with flowers. As previously stated, the maypole, both historically and in modern times, connects to fertility. In fact, more often than not, all of Beltane is steeped in fertility. Though not all modern celebrants utilize the Sabbath in a manner purely connected to sex, coupling does occur. It is also unsurprising that ceremonies connecting couples together often occur during this time. Most commonly, one will see hand fasting ceremonies, of which we will learn a bit more about later. The frequency of this occurrence is because of the symbolism of the male and female energies merging. The male energy, known as the god or lord, has fully matured, as has the female energy, known as the goddess or the lady. When casting my eyes back in time to the origins of the word Beltane itself, I cannot help but see the flames filling the sky in my mind's eyes. So much so that as I swam through research, I found the origin of the word Beltane in no way surprising. Most experts agree that the word Beltane derives its origin from the ancient Celtic god Belenus. Interestingly, a goddess by the name of Belisama is also depicted with Belenus. Both the name Belenus and Belisama come from the root bel. Some experts believe that bel means bright, and others believe it means strong, greatest, or most. All possibilities being quite worthy of both modern and ancient celebrations of the Sabbath. As is clear by now, fire itself is woven into Beltane celebrations. I was fascinated to find that although fire is a consistent theme, water is actually associated with both Belenus and Belisama. In fact, most experts agree that the deities are associated with water, with Belenus being correlated with healing shrines and Belisama being the goddess of the Ribble River in Lancashire, England. Water is definitely tied into the origin in some way, so much so that Clutie wells are visited by some early on Beltane morning. The first water drawn from such a holy site was seen as potent, offering good luck to the first visitor to the well. Some also believe that dew on Beltane offered magical properties that could bring youth and beauty for women or long whiskers for men, offering another peek at the manner in which our pagan ancestors experienced the Sabbath. Although Beltane has been celebrated in multiple ways throughout history, I found that this festival is ultimately emerging. of feminine and masculine energies. It encompasses a deep spiritual and physical union in which the yin and the yang, if you will, come together, representative by the merging of the pagan god and goddess. The god and goddess, or divine masculine and feminine energies, come together to form a union. In the Wiccan tradition, the god and goddess are separated throughout the winter. Their reunion is celebrated with Beltane. Therefore, the deeply embedded mark of fertility is entirely understandable. Let's explore Beltane's place in the wheel of the year a bit more clearly. During the winter solstice, or Yule, the goddess or feminine energy is known to give birth to the god or masculine energy. In this line of thought, Beltane represents a time in which both the god and goddess, or masculine and feminine energies, have matured, and therefore can come together in union. Energies balanced as well as merging. Though most, if not all, pagan festivals make use of the element of fire, Beltane's fires represent both the sacred union in modernity and in ancient traditions, as well as the power to protect the herds before pasturing in days of old. Such a representation makes it not at all surprising that hand fasting is connected with Beltane. Hand fasting is a pagan marriage ceremony that dates back to 7000 BC. In this beautiful tradition, two people are brought together when they desire marriage. Ancient Celts perceived this union and ceremony as a trial period in which the partners could ensure that they were ready for a lifelong commitment. During the ceremony, an officiant will tie their hands together with a cord or piece of material, symbolizing the union of two lives. This is the origin of the saying, tying the knot. Such rituals often included courting, whereby young men or women would collect flowers or light bonfires. Although many believe in the merging of the feminine and masculine, modernity has ushered in new possibilities concerning the Sabbath celebration. Some practitioners prefer to focus on the feminine divine, reclaiming the power inherent in each of us, but often forgotten about in modern society, even at times discarded entirely. This excerpt is from a television show called Annie with an E, and it offers a quick overview of this belief. Goddess of Beltane, sacred mother, queen of May, wild lady of the woods, guardian of love and life, welcome to our circle. We beings, powerful and sacred, declare upon this hallowed night, our heavenly bodies belong solely to us. We shall choose whom to love and with whom to share trust. We shall walk upon this earth with grace and respect. We'll always take pride in our great intellect. We'll always honor our emotions so our spirits may soar. And should any man belittle us, we'll show them the door. Our spirits are unbreakable, our imaginations free. Walk with us, goddess, so blessed are we. This excerpt speaks volumes about the belief that the feminine divine is a powerful force. If forgotten or discarded, balance cannot ultimately be achieved. For such practitioners, the goddess is the divine, and Beltane represents a time in which they can both celebrate with and connect with their own energies. The focus is on the importance of honoring themselves and the world around them, with the belief that the female energy or the goddess herself can hold a mirror up to their soul. The thought is that the goddess can reflect back the wisdom, love, strength, power, and serenity each of us are capable of. Or more clearly, the union celebrated is the union within oneself, honoring the divine within. And what better time to do so than springtime, when the entire earth bursts forth with new life. As we have seen, modern pagans generally utilize a melding of ancestral practices. Sacred rituals pass forth through time, often with a contemporary twist. But no matter the time, whether ancient or modern, the Sabbath consistently celebrates the joys of life, of creation, of love, and above all, of merging. While a multitude of sacred pagan practices offer times of the year meant for manifesting the new or discarding the old, Beltane simply celebrates, nurturing the union all of us are capable of in this world. So take time to celebrate life and love this day, my wonderful Mosaic brothers and sisters. Blessed be.